drop tonight.
Good afternoon, everyone. Jenks Canada here. I thought I'd make an updated video of my Alphabridge build. I had a lot of questions. I feel that I've pretty much taken this build as far as I can go, so I'm going to go over everything I have in my inventory, what I have equipped, the changes I've made. And hopefully this will help some of you guys with your Alphabridge build to try and improve it. There are some basic things that I'm going to talk about that a lot of YouTubers have talked about, but for some reason a lot of players just aren't doing it, or they just don't know about it. So there's things you should roll automatically for your builds. You should definitely roll armor on your chest piece and on your holster. You should always roll skill power on your mask and your backpack, if at all possible. Knee pads, you should try to roll crit damage. The cap is 21% for crit damage on those. And gloves, you want crit chance, crit damage, weapon damage of preferably whatever weapon you happen to be using, whether it's an SMG, an assault rifle, marksman rifle, doesn't matter. And as for skill power, this keeps coming up, and there seems to be some confusion, so hopefully this clears it up. To get high skill power, you don't need to roll electronics on any of your armor. Now, this is excluding a tech build, okay? So Tactician's Authority and support players who are trying to get really maxed out skill power, this is excluding you. This is for the average player, the rounded character who, you know, you want to have good toughness and decent damage dealing. This is what I'm talking about. So other than the tech builds, this is what you want to do, particularly for Alphabridge. When you build an Alphabridge build, you have to bear in mind what weapons you're selecting, because you want to have good talents. Generally accepted, the talents you want are deadly, brutal, competent, and responsive. And the last two are kind of up to you. So for this one right now, I've got destructive, brutal, and hurried. And hurried on the PP19 really, really does help, guys. Your reload speed is ridiculously fast. Responsive, deadly, and competent. So the main ones. Now, the destructive, I like this because I do a lot of PVE. Destructive does not work for PvP. They've said they're going to change that, but with 1.4 in the works, who really knows? At the moment, it doesn't work for PvP. So if you wanted to select something with a different talent that's going to work for PvP, that's a good way to go. I sometimes run my MP7, Deadly Self-Preserved Adept. Adept's okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay. So, but for this PP19 build, destructive, brutal, hurried, responsive, deadly, and competent. Okay? So, we're going to go over to my reckless chest piece. Now, I have two different reckless I run. This one gives me higher toughness because it's rolled for stamina. Obviously has armor on it. Health on kill, it's okay. Increased kill XP, I don't care about. Sticky bomb, I don't use, so it doesn't matter. But importantly, when I was talking about getting high skill power, you want to use mods, whether it's firearms or stamina, with skill power. The other option I would recommend, and these are really the only two options I run with, are either skill power or crit chance, 1.5%. I find the skill power increase, getting over 30,000, your skills come back 3 or 4 seconds after they expire, and I find you get a lot more damage using smart cover or pulse with high skill power, more so than you do with getting the extra 4 or 6% crit chance, but that's me. The other reckless chest I have is this one, rolled for firearms, again armor on it. Now damage to elites is nice for PvE, doesn't do anything for PvP. Ammo capacity, I don't care because I'm always using Lone Star. But again, This one's rolled for skill power and crit chance, and I put stamina mods on this one because it's rolled for firearms. This one's rolled for stamina, so I have firearms mods on it. Go down to my mask. Pretty high skill power. The cap, I believe, is 5670, so it's pretty close. I could be wrong on that, but it's pretty close. Pulse critical hit chance is nice. Enemy armor damage, great for PVE. And again, skill power mod, stamina or firearms, doesn't matter, whatever you prefer to have. My knee pads, crit damage. Yes, I could have 2% more, but as it stands now, this is what I'm using. I do have some other ones that are capped out. But again, you'll notice that if I put these knee pads on, my firearms goes below 2840, so deadly and brutal wouldn't be active. And you have to keep that in mind when you're running Alphabridge. The whole point of Alphabridge is to have 6 skills. So this is the one I'm normally using. And again, firearms mod with pretty high skill power. I'm not sure what the cap on a skill power on a mod is, but that's gotta be close. Moving over to my holster. This is my old holster. It was pretty good, but luckily a friend of mine found this and gave it to me, and it really improved things. High armor, high stats across the board. It's really a great holster. I'm going to move up to my backpack first, and people are asking me why I'm using Sentry's backpack. I'll tell you, because it's pretty much maxed out and it's got the highest skill power I've ever seen on a backpack. 7583 skill power is a ton. And again, I've got a stamina mod with crit chance. I could roll a skill powered mod into there, stamina with skill power, but it's not necessary. As long as you're at the 30,000 mark, kind of, you're doing pretty well. And my Alphabridge gloves. I do have Savage gloves, guys. Really well rolled. 723 is the max you can get stamina or firearm. 703 is pretty good. I don't find I need these, and the reason I'm running the Alphabridge gloves instead, if you want to compare, is I have higher SMG damage, and I'm maxed out on my crit chance and my crit damage. Crit chance max is 7%. Crit damage on gloves is 42%. So other than having lower stamina, these gloves are fantastic. This is about the only thing I have left that I could really make an improvement on. If I could find gloves with these exact same stats with a 730s or 740s or even 750 stamina, that would be, I would pretty much be done. I might as well quit the game because I can't, or at least quit this character, because I can't improve any further than where I'm at right now. So I hope this is kind of making sense to you. My pistol obviously is pretty good, pretty high damage. Hardly ever use it. Now you'll notice something real quick. I'm going to show you how much firearms can affect your base damage. So go down to I'll go to my MP7 first. 13.1, very respectable base damage. The PP19 I'm using it now, also 13.1 with an additional 1500 damage with my magazine on it. Okay. Magazine has rate of fire with 13% weapon damage. The highest weapon damage I've seen is 14%. I do have one, but it's rolled for magazine size, and on the PP19 I don't find that it's worth having 106 rounds. I would rather have the rate of fire. My optics, headshot and crit chance, I think that's maxed out, 8% and 23, I'm pretty sure is the max. And my muzzle flash is crit chance and accuracy. Now here's what I was going to show you. Changing to the other reckless, it gives me firearms roll. Watch what happens to my base damage. On both my MP7, go up 600 damage, and my PP19, I go up 700 base damage. That's quite effective for PVE, and honestly PvP too. The more punch you can get, the more damage you can do in a quick burst, the faster you're going to put your targets down. And that base damage also affects your critical hit damage as well, right? It's multiplied off your base damage. My character stats with this roll, A lot of weapon damage, as you can see. My crit chance is 25%, but with 30,000 skill power, either I'm running Pulse or one of my other teammates is running Pulse, and I'm getting, you know, in the high 40s, low 50s%. Fair amount of crit damage. I would prefer this to be closer to 200%, and I can do that, but I sacrifice some other things. Lots of headshot damage. Weapon damage bonus, 27%. That's a lot. That really helps in PVE. As you can see, my SMG, 535 damage bonus. That's pretty high. There are higher, but I don't have one. I'm doing a lot of enemy armor damage with destructive. Really helps take down level 35 NPCs. My skill power there. My health with the higher damage is only 100,000. It's respectable. It's not great, but it's respectable. And if I change back to my stamina health, my stamina chest piece, you'll see my health goes back up to about 112,000, and my health regen is quite a bit higher as well. 112,000, almost, let's call it 113,000, and just over 11,000 health regen. That's the other big bonus with Alphabridge that people seem to forget about, is your health regenerates really fast. 100% bonus for health regeneration. And in the Dark Zone in particular, and really in the game in general, that really can help you survive. So I hope this helps you guys. Any questions you have, leave me a message, or you can hit me up on Facebook. Thanks for watching. Keep on grinding.
Bye.